What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, this sector of my videos is going to be called Hood Tales. Well, I talk about a lot of situations and scenarios that occurred between myself or certain people that I'm really close with or was once close to, right? And I'm going to talk about these experiences that we had growing up on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. A lot of my stories, like my hood tales, take place between my adolescent to teenage years in the shop, right? And this one in particular, in this video, I'm going to talk about a slew of different stories. But I'm going to start off with one during my high school years. Anybody that don't know, I went to high school at Morgan Park High School on the south side of Chicago. Technically, a lot of people say something like technically you can say the far south side because my school is in the Hundreds, an area called the Wild Hundreds, right? Anybody that knows Chicago or heard about Chicago, y'all heard about the Wild Hundreds. Y'all maybe heard Cameron mention it in some of his songs, you know what I'm saying? Because he lived in Chicago too. He would shout out the Wild Hundreds or whatever a lot of times and all of that. But nonetheless, I went to school at Morgan Park. I went to Morgan Park for several reasons. My older brother, God rest his soul, he went to Morgan Park. He went to Morgan Park. He played football there. He won a city championship. I knew Morgan Park had a lot of school spirit. Just by going to his football games, I would see the school spirit. It looked a whole lot of fun. All of the student section was always crazy. Like, it was just looking like a school that was just full of energy and a school that I would really enjoy going to. Also, Morgan Park didn't wear uniforms, and Morgan Park was a very good school academically, meaning like we had programs where we had certain programs in our school that was selective enrollment, meaning we had to test into certain programs like the IB program or the world language program that I was a part of. I was in a world language program, so I took French for all 4 years, and I was in all honors classes. I had to test into that program, right? So, fast forward, I go to Morgan Park. I'm like, I'm gonna get a good education. It's right by a good neighborhood, right by Beverly. I shouldn't have no trouble when I'm in school. Everything should be cool. Shouldn't be having no violence. Should be going on like that. Wrong. So when I went to Morgan Park, I had no idea that we had a school we had a rival school. And I'm talking about rivalries. I'm not talking a sports-related rivalry. I'm talking about when certain students from this school see students from that school, it's automatically smoke. Hands getting thrown, like certain words being exchanged back and forth. Somebody gonna get to fighting a whole lot of times, right? I had no idea this was existent in Morgan Park. Morgan Park's rival school that we was all, not me, but a lot of the student body was getting into it with often was Julian High School. Julian was like 8 blocks up the street from my school. We were on 111th and Vincennes. Their school was right off 103rd and Vincennes. And we had to take the same buses to get to school. Julian kids in Morgan Park took the same bus. Julian kids and Morgan Park kids took the same bus, the same Chicago Public Transportation, CTA bus. We all took the same bus to go to school. I remember when I went to Morgan Park, and some people don't know this. In Chicago, Illinois, there is no busing system for the high school kids. In elementary school, you can get the school buses. When you get to high school, either you're a student that's driving, if you're old enough to drive and you have a car, or you're taking public transportation or somebody picking you up and dropping you off every single day. My parents couldn't be taking me to school every single day, nothing like that, so I was taking public transportation. My cousin was already at Morgan Park, and he told me, Malcolm, you on a bus, your student ID, take that student ID off, because we had to wear student IDs on our necks all the time while we was in school, so the kids can know, they always want to see our student ID, that we can see if we in the right period, if we're in the right classes at the right time or whatever, right? So anyway, my cousin told me, hey, take the ID off when you get on the bus. I say, why you say that, cuz? He said, because if them kids from Julian see that you go to Morgan Park, they might try to have some issues with you. They might try to fight you. They might try to get into it with you. Might try to jump you, so on and so forth, right? So I say, okay, cool, cuz, appreciate that. So I ain't wear my student ID at all while I'm on the bus. Time goes past. I remember this vividly. I'm like, I don't see the friction that y'all talking about between Morgan Park and Julian kids until one day. I'm on the bus one day and we riding past Julian High School. I see a kid they usually is on the bus with Morgan Park kids. He's running for the bus. He's trying to catch the bus. And while he's running for the bus, it's kids behind him running for the bus too. Or so I thought, right? The bus driver keeps going. The bus driver don't stop because the kids ain't making it to the bus stop in time. This bus driver so wrong for this. Just kept driving, let the kids run for the bus. The bus driver kept driving. When the bus driver kept driving, the dude that went to Morgan Park, he stopped running and he looking defeated like, man, I can't catch the bus. And I'm thinking the dudes behind him trying to catch the bus too. No, they start immediately swinging on him, punching him, all that, like punching him out as soon as he stops running. Dude didn't even know that they were behind him. I can tell because he wasn't even, when he stopped, he didn't look with a sense of urgency or nothing. He just looked defeated, like, you know, he just mad he couldn't catch the bus. Dude started punching him in some more, and we all on the bus like, oh my God, like, damn, is this really, really happening? Come to find out, one of the dudes on the bus was the dude that was getting jumped, homeboy, right? His homeboy was not jumping off that bus at all. He like, damn. I said, oh my God. Somebody said, ain't that your man's? And dude just like, yeah, man, what can I do though? I said, oh, damn, man, that's all bad. This boy said, I ain't getting off the bus. So the next day, like that happened on a Friday. Monday come back around, we see the dude that got jumped on. So one of the other dudes say, hey man, we saw you getting jumped the other day. Like, what happened? Now, mind you, he don't even know this dude. He just saw him on the bus every day, so he want to make sure why he was good or what happened. He said, what happened, man? You look like you ain't really had no bruises on you, so they probably didn't even beat you up that bad. He said, no, man. As soon as a bus passed, the police came probably about like 15, 20 seconds after that. And he like, okay, cool. He said, what happened? Why they trying to beat you up? He said, they trying to beat me up because I went to Morgan Park. He said, I went in there to go sign up for night school. Like, if you doing poor academically, you got to take night classes. Morgan Park did not offer night school. So Morgan Park kids had to go to other schools to take night classes. So he went up to Julian High School to try to sign up for night school as a kid that went to Morgan Park. The boys in the school, the Julian kids found out he went to Morgan Park. They was antagonizing him the whole time he in there. They talking crazy to him, talking slick to him. He talking slick back, of course, to defend himself. But he really trying to brush it off so he can finish signing up for night classes, right? He leave the school. He running for the bus. He thinking he just running for the bus. He said he had no idea they was behind him or none of that. But the police came 15-some seconds later to break everything up, right? So that story happens or whatever. I remember another time a group of football players went up to Julian to go sign up for night school too, right? One of the football players told me this, and the girl that I knew told me this too. They went up there to go sign up for night school. The football team, the Julian kids see the football team and they say, y'all go to Morgan Park. And the Morgan Park kids ain't saying nothing. So that's an obvious indication that, of course, they go to Morgan Park because they ain't responding. So they start trying to antagonize the football team. Man, they get to jumping on Morgan Park kids up in there, jumping on them. And then one of the dudes that played football stood down and said, what? What's up? What's up? Ain't gonna be none of that. By himself, stands up and start throwing his fist up and say, I'll fight anybody in here. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Who won't smoke? I'm with all that. Let's get it. Right? Y'all ain't finna jump on Morgan Park kids. I ain't having that. We finna have to just fight. Whatever it is, it's gonna be that. But we got to box. We got to square up immediately. Right? So when he do that, the other Julian kids fall back. Because they really get shocked that somebody really is standing up to them like this by himself for real, because he really ain't got backup like that. Some of the other kids ran off or whatever. He really ready to fight by himself. So they fall back and they just retreat because they saw that somebody wasn't afraid of them and ready for all the smoke like they was, and they fell back and retreated. And in Chicago, a lot of times it's some people that be on that, but some people wanted to see if you had heart, if you were willing to stand up for yourself and willing to fight back when certain stuff was going on, right? So that was a crazy thing, a situation in itself, because they end up jumping some of the kids, but when the dude stood down, they all backed off or whatever, right? So we're going to fast forward to my roommate. And I'm going to tell you, my roommate Melvin. My roommate Melvin can tell you this verbatim. Melvin went to school at Chicago Vocational High School. That's the same high school that Juwan Howard went to. I lived by the school that he went to. I didn't know my college roommate at the time at all, but I lived right by the high school that he went to. I was not going to that school because I knew gangs was heavily in that school and they wore uniforms. So I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going somewhere I can have a good time, whatever, and I ain't got to wear no uniforms. I can get whatever clothes I want to wear. I'm going to go to that school, right? So he's going to school over by my neighborhood where I live, but he lived all the way in the Hunnits, in the Wild Hunnits too. So his school is into it with a school name called Harlan. Harlan is right by 95th and the Dan Ryan. This is the bus terminal where everybody that live in the south side of Chicago will be at. All us be at this bus terminal to take different buses to take us to all the different places that we live when we get out of high school. His school is into it with Harlan, so anytime a kid from Harlan sees a kid that go to Chicago Vocational High School, they trying to beat up or jump on the kids that go to CVS, right? CVS, Chicago Vocational. Melvin went to CVS, so he's always on the lookout, looking around, watching his surroundings while he's coming home. He say one day he's on a bus And he say, I don't know, for some reason he on the bus with one of his homies. One of his homies on the bus with him, and he says they really, the bus rolled them into a trap. He said he get off, not purposely, of course. The bus driver didn't do this purposely. But he said he get off the bus, and it's a group of girls surrounding him. Girls surrounding him. He said his homie must have saw it coming because he slipped out the back door immediately. He said he look around, these girls surround him and say, what school you go to? He said, huh? He said, they say N-word. You heard us. What school you go to? You heard what the hell we said. With they fist balled up and Timberland boots on, tied up, ready to stomp him out. He said, Malcolm, these girls is finna jump me this day. I'm looking around like, hell no. He said, it was, how many girls? He said about 5 or 6 of them surrounding him, ready to jump him. He said one of the dudes that he know from his neighborhood that went to Harlan High School with them girls said, hey, no, he good. That's my man's from the hood. He good. He good. He said, Malcolm, the girls say, all right, cool then. We finna find somebody else. He said, Malcolm, them girls is finna jump me, bro. I was finna have to fight off a group of girls. And I said, listen, I don't hit women. But that would have been the day my hands would have had to fly. Y'all not finna be jumping on me out here. And I don't know. He said these girls look like they were strong and ready to stomp him out. Then they saw a girl that went to CBS High School like he did and jumped on the girl. Right? He like, bro, what the hell is going on, man? Like, all because we go to 2 different schools. We ain't got nothing to do with nothing they got going on. Melvin, like, I just happen to go to the school that they into it with. They into it with certain people from the school. So they trying to beat up on every kid that go to CBS. Right? And of course, CBS kids wasn't going. They wasn't sweet. They was fighting back or whatever. But he like, bro, this stuff is crazy how this stuff is playing out, right? So another transferred to a whole nother incident. I remember when my sister was going to school. She went to Young Women Leadership Academy. This is a school that was backed by Oprah Winfrey. It was on the low end, right? So my sister was going to school, but she was sometimes going to my grandma's house on 79th Street, right off the 9. Right, like y'all know, look, Chance always say, look at LeChano from 79th, right? 79th in the hood. My grandma lived right over there. So my sister is walking down the street on the phone with her friend. This back in the day when the flip phone was out. My sister had the flip phone on her. You know what I'm saying? She got her hand phone to her ear. She just talking, running her mouth, not paying attention to her surroundings. Out of nowhere, a cluck. Now, a cluck is a term for a person who is hooked off narcotics, right? Now, in the hood terms, they would say a crackhead, but Chicago, we call them clucks too. Dude, this drug addict dude, comes by my sister, run past really fast, snatches my sister's phone out of her hand. He snatches it so quick, he scratched my sister trying to get the phone out, snatched her phone, and got to running up the street with it. Running. My sister hollering, get my phone back, get my phone back. This dude ain't look back. I'm talking about, my sister said he was running like a damn Olympic sprinter. This man was running out of here like, what's dude's name? Usain Bolt. Excuse me, I just said what's dude's name. I talked about Usain Bolt in the previous video. My man was out here running like Usain Bolt, sprinting down the block. Nobody, by the time she even flagged somebody down to let them know what happened, he was way out of reach, right? And my sister comes in my grandma's house, rings the doorbell. She calling me Malcolm, calling me from my grandma's phone. Somebody just stole my phone. This dude just took my phone, ran down the street with it, and he was gone. I said, man, at this time, I'm 14, 15. I'm like, man, I wish I was there with you. I was a little fast back when I was younger, too. I was a small dude. I was about like 140 pounds. I could pick him up and put him down. No question. I was getting little on folks. I was a little Sonic the Hedgehog. You feel? I had a little speed to me. I promise you, I ain't tough at all. I'm not no tough dude out here, none of that. But I promise you, I would have chased that dude down, tripped him, and whooped him for my sister's phone. No lie. This man took it out my sister's phone and tried to get the phone so bad he scratched my sister's hand trying to get the damn phone out of her hand and be gone down the street. Like, it was crazy, man. It was super, super crazy. I'm trying to think any other, because I'm going to spread them out. What other story I want to tell y'all about living in the Chi? I got something I want to save for a whole nother video. So I'm trying to pick and choose my spots and selections with certain stuff that I want to tell. Trying to think what other oh man. this one my heart was racing, but ain't nothing happened. So right after I seen the dude get jumped on that went to Morgan Park, and after the dude, I found out some of the football team was trying to get jumped on when they was trying to sign up for night school at Julian or whatever, right? I'm on the bus one day and I stayed late after school for like I believe it was like some tutoring session or whatever I had. It was like for tutoring for midterms was coming up, or final exams or midterms or something was coming up. So I stayed after school to get some help, right? So I stayed out of school for a little minute, and when I stayed out of school, I think I left Morgan Park. It had to have been about almost 4 o'clock, four something, like 3 something. Yeah, it was like 3 something, almost 4 o'clock. I'm on the bus, and when I get on the bus, it's only like 3 Morgan Park kids on the bus with me. As the bus is riding past Julian kids pile on the bus. Y'all. I'm talking about 30-something kids get on the bus. So I'm like, oh shit, here we go, right? I ain't got my ID on, so they don't know I go to Morgan Park at all. They get on the bus, they cracking jokes, they being loud. I'm like, oh damn, this might be the incident where this go down, right? So I see my homie, my right hand man, Shooter, his cousin get on the bus, and she said, hey Malcolm, I ain't seen her in years. I said, hey. She said, what high school? She said, what you doing on the bus? I said, I'm just coming from school. I'm trying to say it low. I'm just coming from school, right? She said, oh, what high school you go to? She say this in front of all these kids that go to Julian, and I told y'all already about the static Morgan Park kids got with Julian. I say, Morgan Park? She said, oh, you go to Morgan Park? I said, oh my God. She saying as loud as they gonna try to jump on me. Luckily, they was cool. They wasn't, I guess because I looked so young. When I was 15, I really looked like a little bitty kid. And I guess they probably just looking like, this a little boy. We ain't finna get on that. They ain't get on that with me by the grace of God. But I was so mad at my boy cousin. I'm like, I told my homie, like I said, man, your cousin got on the bus. She almost gave me away. They could have started beating on me. Jumping, it's not funny, but it's funny now. I said they could have started trying to jump on me right then. Because I'm trying to say I go to Morgan Park Low. Oh, you go to Morgan Park? I said, oh, no, don't do this to me right here. Please don't. Oh, hold on. Another one of Melvin's stories. Melvin said one time he got on the bus, right? And he said he coming from CBS. He headed to the Dan Ryan, 87th Street, 87th and the Dan Ryan. He taking the bus there. He said while he on the bus, a group of dudes get on the bus, and he say, man, they get on the bus and they say, hey, I bet this bus don't make it to King Drive. So when he say that, he say, oh my God. The only way the bus not going to make it there is somebody gets jumped on the bus. If it's a fight on the bus, the bus drivers have to immediately stop the bus, get off the bus, report what happened, call it in, and everything got to be investigated or whatever. And the passengers got to take a whole nother bus, right? So he said, I'm knowing they finna jump on somebody. He said, Malcolm, this day I got my pea coat on. I'm looking like a straight square. I'm looking like a straight preppy kid this day. So I'm looking like I know they finna single me out and put me on notice because I'm really the only boy on the bus. He said, I look around. I'm like, damn, ain't no other dudes on the bus? This is just my luck, fam. Come on, man. So he said, man, they looking, they observing. He said they started looking at him. He trying to look in the opposite direction, trying to act like he don't see him. But he said, man, I feel a tension rising. You can cut the tension the tension in the air with a knife. He said, man, listen, I'm not going to lie. He said, luckily, and I know this sounds bad, Malcolm. He said, but I just did not want to deal with that at all. He said somebody else got on the bus, another kid that looked more preppy than me, and they tried to jump on him. And he said, he said, Malcolm, if he wasn't on that bus, they would have jumped me. He said, now I felt bad for the boy because he ain't had nothing to do with nothing or nothing. He said, man, they started punching him or whatever. And he said, and they ran off the bus. He said, Malcolm, man, if he wasn't on the bus, it was going to be me, without question. They was going to get me. And my little preppy little look, he said, I was on the bus looking like straight Carlson. You know what I'm saying? I was looking like Carlson from Fresh Prince. I was out here fitting. I was clean, though. He said, you know they be hating and all this and all that, man. It's just a whole bunch of little ignorant hood stuff that should not be occurring in the first place, man. But Melvin like, man, I felt bad. Young boy ain't deserve that at all. I ain't want none of that to happen. He said, but he said, I ain't want to get jumped at all either, man. So it was a whole lot of BS going on in the hood, a lot of dumb stuff, man, that shouldn't have happened in the first place, man. But that was the first edition of Hood Tales. I got a lot more hood stories to tell y'all. Y'all stay tuned. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace.